Hello, and welcome to today's edition of Pegasus Tests. On today's edition, we're reviewing the Blackhawk Enhanced Web Belt. Laid out before us here on the table, we have three web belts. Two of them are Blackhawk Enhanced Web Belts, and down here is a GI issue web belt for comparison purposes. Right off the bat, one of the first major differences between the Blackhawk Enhanced Web Belt and a GI issue web belt is stiffness. As you can see here, right here on the table, the web belt is so stiff it's got a bow in it, it can't even lay straight. As compared to this GI issue web belt, which, well, it's like a wet noodle. Very flexible, not very stiff at all. Next features we have, as you'll notice as you look along the exterior of the belt here, there are no grommet holes, which in the modern day that doesn't really matter because nothing attaches to GI webbing using hangers like it did during World War II or even up through the Vietnam era where your bayonets and canteens had little hangers that interfaced with the holes. So the loss of the grommet holes, no big deal. Next thing you'll notice is you have these stretchy web things for holding up the excess. They really don't do much because when you turn to the inside, once again demonstrating the stiffness of the belt here, turn to the inside, the internal part of the belt is completely lined with Velcro, and unlike a GI web belt that has friction and metal locks, it just Velcros together and you slide the elastic keepers over once you've got it adjusted. This is a great system. Unlike the GI system where things can work loose and readjust themselves when you don't want them to, once you set this belt to length, it will stay there. And the longer you wear it and the more you use it, especially if it gets wet and everything, it kind of almost locks in like glue or Loctite. The next salient feature to talk about the belt is its buckle system. Unlike GI belts that have several different locking systems, the main one on this is two side locks and a middle lock. So you get redundant locking ability. It's nice and tight, it's snug, there's no play whatsoever, and even nothing can knock it loose. You've got to hit the one tab, then pinch to be able to get it apart. So you got double locking, actually triple locking, because each one of these lugs, so that's 1 and 2, and then this third lug in the middle. I've gone ahead and switched over to the belt I've had for about 10 years, and you can tell it's a bit older, it's pretty faded, it's got a lot of mileage on it, but all the functionality is still there. And let's go over the functional features. The Velcro allows, on the internal, for solid mounting of gear. On the old GI system you used Alice clips that you taped in place sometimes, or you took the Alice clips off and used wire ties. Now here, you use Velcro, it stays. For example, this is a belt clip for a Serpo type thigh rig. The internal Velcro snaps or engages in place. The second layer comes up and engages, and then the third layer, that pressed in against my body. This thing does not move, it doesn't come loose, it doesn't go anywhere. We'll have the other one mounted a little further up so you have all that secure, plus you have the end of the belt over the top of it securing it once again. Now it's not necessary to do that. Here I have a Blackhawk magazine pouch just simply attached with the Velcro strips around the belt. And yet the nylon locks together and it doesn't move either. Also, the belt pouch here is a Maxpedition dump pouch. I can slide it over the front of the belt and put it in place, and it is fully compatible with this web belt as well. Now for comparison purposes, I've got a GI issue web belt here. This is the latest generation with the Fastex type buckle. Notice how it only has the two locking lugs and not the third locking tab that the Blackhawk Enhanced Web Belt has. It's a pretty good durable buckle, but it can work itself loose. The GI system here, the latest system, depends on metal friction and these keeper tabs at the end. They're not the best system. The metal friction doesn't always hold. A lot of times it works loose. As you can see, I've gone ahead and taped this one down. And another thing I did, I buy the smallest edition of the belt that I can, so there's not a lot of excess plate to be available to work loose. It does have the grommet holes in it, so if you're using older gear, such as bayonets or World War II era canteen or first aid pouches, you can still interface with this belt. You do lose that functionality with the Blackhawk belt. And if you're going to attach modern features like here, this is the Blackhawk Serpo attachment system. I've had, as you can see, get pretty creative with the taping to keep them from walking all over the belt. All that being said, low cost, durable for sure, but nowhere the utility of the Blackhawk belt. It's our opinion that the Blackhawk Enhanced Web Belt is a pretty solid piece of gear and a pretty solid deal. The price point, depending on who you get it from, is between $40 and $50, which is about 3 times the cost of a GI surplus web belt, but you get a lot more functionality and a lot more durability for that amount of money. So I think in this case, the extra money is worth it. We'd like to thank you for tuning in today and watching this gear review, and we hope you comment, like, and subscribe, and tune in for future Gator Test videos.